everybody.
Thank you all for being here today for Framework Los Angeles. I'm really grateful to have all of you here and excited to see so many faces I only know by name that I finally get to meet in person, and people I haven't seen in a few years as well. So thank you for being here. For those of you who don't know me or my background, it's been a few decades road to this stage, starting as a lighting electrician in New York City, into lighting programming, moving into video programming in the early 2000s, and on my way from a video programming to screens producer career. Screens.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that
Debate.
later.
Yeah.
Little disagreement there. To my role now, which is the executive director of Framework. Framework is a nonprofit entity. It is a community platform for us, for all of us in this room. Whether you're on the engineering side, the design side, producing operations, we represent pixels from their creation to their display on screen, all the roles involved, all the environments that happens in, from broadcast, film, installation, creative work, anywhere creative video exists. JT?
Yeah, just to introduce myself, I know a lot of you here and a lot of new faces as well. My name is JT Rooney. I am president of XR Studios, which is the facility that you're in today. So welcome. We're really happy to have people come and share the space. XR Studios is a company primarily based off of the production involving all of this LED technology. So both this stage and the one next to it are stuff that we do. Personally, my background is a bit more in screen visuals and live entertainment. So I worked with a company called Silent Partner Studios for a long time and worked with a lot of you here from D3 Disguise. I think we have like at least 4 generations of Disguise people here today, so that would be fun. Really excited to have everyone here in this space. And again, it's been a journey for myself, as all of us with Framework, seeing this go from in-person to online to in-person. And here we are now, and we're excited to have this here in the US. And yeah, we're excited to see it going.
Great. So for our LA conference, this is our second in-person conference. We were in London last fall. This is our 5th conference event. We put on 3 events in 2020. We were planning on an in-person conference for 2020, but we all know what happened then. So we're excited to be able to gather in person and share ideas and insights. Our goal is to feature the sessions that represent the people and the people behind the scenes that make the technology work and bring the ideas to life. So with that, we have 2 themes. We call ourselves Live Pixel People. We present these pixels in front of a live audience. We capture them live in film environments and broadcast. We also have another theme, No Victory Laps. And the heart of No Victory Laps is we want to get beyond just the hero of the amazing things we can do and show off the pretty pictures and displays of the massive amounts of technology that we use, and talk about the people that actually get that work done and make these shows successful. So we're human-centered, people-centered first, and that is the essence of our No Victory Lap approach. So we want to celebrate the great achievements, but we want to talk about the challenges we faced, what we learned along the way, and how we iterate and improve that process with each production.
I think everyone will have their own balance of the no victory laps thing. When you're doing a presentation, it's really hard not to talk about how cool it is. So it'll be interesting to see how everyone kind of navigates that the next 2 days. It's a very natural human thing, but try to find the whys of everything versus the how cool. Something about the next 2 days, just so everyone is aware, what's going to happen today and tomorrow is that we'll gather here in Studio A. This is called Studio A. We'll gather here in the morning for the morning sessions and to get things started. That will happen in the sort of morning session until about noon, and then we'll split into 2 tracks. So you walked through another space, probably Studio B. It's ironically B and then A, sorry. And in Studio B, there's another sort of track of things that are happening in that space. And in this, there'll be talks and presentations as well as some sponsor presentations. You can also go over into the studio lobby that you entered today. We have a lot of awesome sponsors and vendors who are here showcasing different technology. There are some tucked away in the dressing rooms down a glass hallway that you can see when you walk in, so make sure to go see them as well. One other thing just to be aware of this campus, I'll try to say this really quickly, but You are sitting in the original cold storage for the Eastman Kodak Motion Picture Company. So this is where they used to keep all of the film, and then they would load it out on the docks. If you go across the parking lot, there's a really awesome older building there that was the 1929 headquarters of the Eastman Kodak Company. So there's a lot of history here. There's a lot of generations and generations of innovation, which is really fun. We're happy to keep that going. That older Kodak building in the front part of the parking lot, you can go to today if you need to take a call or get away for a second or whatever it is. Just know that that space is open. Just please stay within the stanchion sort of block off areas. But it's a great place to kind of retreat to when needed. That is where our lunch will happen. So you'll have the opportunity to go over there. And later in the evening, there will be a happy hour, which is exciting for everyone over here in the studio. During the actual Q&A sessions, or during the panels today, there will be Q&A sessions. Please make sure to wave a hand and flag, and one of our helpful PAs or audio team will give you a mic. And we encourage that sort of back and forth with the panelists. There's never enough time, but it's really great to get that back and forth. We also have a live stream that is hopefully going wonderfully in the background. And there will be questions coming from the live stream audience as well. So we'll have some of those flagged also. So again, it's about conversations, about communication. Just make sure to please engage in that.
If you're watching on our stream, please, when you post questions, post them during the Q&A session so our moderators can help get those to the presenters during that 10-minute window.
I think something else Laura touched on already, but what if part of what framework represents is not only, you know, we talk about being live pixel people, but you know, nowadays, and people like Matt Ward and other people know that pixels can mean a lot of things in a lot of different shapes, and maybe it's a light, maybe it's a screen, maybe it's all sorts of stuff. But what matters about this group is cross-discipline engagement. So even across different departments, but even within departments, there's, like you said, engineers, creatives, producers, all sorts of people. So it's really important that we're not only going across different disciplines, but across or internally within departments. So really make sure you find the opportunity to engage with other people who you might not normally speak with, even though you're in the same department. And we actually had a rule at another event earlier this week where someone had like a buzzer if someone was going too far into something that was overtly technical and specific. Remember that there's a lot of different people here from different backgrounds, so it's important to share and make sure it's all understandable. I think the last part of that is that the community is not only the users and the programmers and designers and the people who touch the technology, but also the people who make the technology. And that's why we have vendors and partners here in the front of the space. So we really encourage people to not be as much about like, ooh, shiny new product. It's more about why that product exists and how it should be used and why it's important in this space. You are all decision makers and users and affect the entire growth of this industry as to why stuff like this even exists. So really, you know, make sure you utilize that time to speak with those people.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important piece to remember. We wouldn't be here today without the vendors in that studio area. So I want to thank them, our sponsors, for taking a risk on this project. We are effectively a startup, and this has been an experiment for a few years, and we plan on becoming a solid foundation for the community in the future. So I wanted to thank our sponsors for taking that risk and that journey with us. It's really important.
Yeah, thank you. I think last thoughts on this before we get started today is that, you know, this is a new venture and a new experience. We've been trying to do this since 2020 in lots of different forms, but it only is useful or helpful if it's engaging to the people who are here or people who are streaming at home. So please give us feedback. Please talk openly with each other. The point of this is to be useful. So if it's not, like, we don't need to do it, you know? So it should be really helpful. It's our unique practice. What we do is very specific in this space relating to screens and content and playback and all sorts of stuff. When you speak to anyone outside of our industry, usually their eyes glaze over a little bit. It's because it's very, very specific. So really use this as an opportunity to leverage that. It's a unique opportunity. The framework mission is to, like Laura said, like focus on that and really help it grow. There's a new talent initiative that we're really proud of that's going to continue into the future. There's a lot of really interesting things that have come from this. So again, really lean into it, really be involved, and this can kind of grow as much as we want it to. So really hoping that that will happen. I think, you know, I'm excited personally to welcome the first session on that line because it just shows how things grow and change over time in this community. Laura's going to kick it off with someone who I started my career with, which is Ryan McAllister from Lightborn in Ohio. So really excited to see everyone come together, and we'll get the day started.
Thank you, JT. Before I bring Ryan up, I just want to take a moment to read you the preamble of our mission, just so we're all in the same headspace together. Framework seeks to foster communication between the artists, producers, and engineers who create visuals for entertainment spaces. Our platform serves to empower the creative video community through inspiration, education, and professional development, and to nurture the professionals of tomorrow. So thank you for being here. We really hope you get a lot out of the next 2 days. I'm going to ask Ryan to join me. Thank you, JT.
Thank you all.